My brother is 5 years older than me and was a big Hulkamaniac. We were never particularly close. In 1997, when everyone else on the planet was getting into professional wrestling, my brother convinced me it wasn't cool to like wrestling anymore. And being a young, impressionable 8 year old who looked up to his brother, I just stopped watching wrestling. When I went to college in 2008, I started actually watching wrestling for the first time since 1997, and I just became completely immersed. Started going to indie shows, went to a number of WWE shows, pay per views, and watched anything and everything that I could. And then at some point, I don't know, 2013, 2014, my brother and I were both back home visiting my parents' house, and I noticed he was sporting a Ring of Honor shirt. And seeing it as an opportunity to connect with my brother, who I didn't really have anything in common with, I pointed it out and we started talking. And I'm glad I did, because not only did I find out that he basically never stopped watching wrestling, but he was probably more hardcore than I was. It opened the floodgates. We bonded over wrestling more than we had anything else in our lives. And basically, he's become my best friend since that conversation 8 or 9 years ago. And barely a day goes by where we don't talk now. And at the end of the day, I have professional wrestling to thank for that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Brought back together by wrestling. Also, fuck him for telling you that wrestling wasn't cool and then being a secret diehard wrestling fan. I mean, not necessarily, but maybe that actually made the bond bigger, that you could come back together years later after having nothing to talk about and then bond over this wonderful thing that we have. And I feel that the independence and the underground and the counterculture scene of professional wrestling will bring people closer together. It's one thing if you see somebody out there with a Naomi Feel the Glow t-shirt on. I'm trying to get that Naomi heat back. But it's another thing if you see somebody wearing a Danhausen shirt or a Warhorse shirt or something so niche and bizarre that if you both know what it is, it makes that instant connection. And even better, if you were already instant connected because you were family. So this is a real feel-good story. I'm glad wrestling has brought you back together. I feel a little pride taking a little part of that. I assume I was a part of that Ring of Honor shirt and Ring of Honor vibe in some kind of way. I'm well aware of how fun and cool the wrestling that I did in my early 20s was with Ring of Honor. And it makes me proud. Glad I could help in some kind of way. Do you like how I'm taking credit? It probably has nothing to do with me, but I'm only assuming that I have a little to do with it. Otherwise, you're not calling this podcast. Hopefully, you two can talk about this phone call and bring you even closer together. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.